The greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world. That is a quote from Margaret Sanger. The greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world. This is something that is obvious. This is something that each and every person should be able to see. Yes, we've been told that this world was good. Growing up, even when we were able to see that something wasn't right, no, we were being told that this world is good. We were getting brainwashed. We were saying that, something's just not right. When you are able to just see that something is not right. But then they brainwash you. There's this other video that I saw of a kid crying because she saw a chicken being killed. And she was crying. And the parents told her that, no, that's natural. I imagine that when that kid grows up, she's not going to have a problem killing chickens too. Why? Because she has been brainwashed, We know that something is not right, but we've been brainwashed. So when we feel like something is not right, we think that we are wrong. We think that there's something wrong with our thinking. You see, they make it seem as if we are the ones that are wrong. The same way that when people are depressed, they make it seem like these people just suffer from mental illness. They don't realize that, no, actually, they are actually feeling the way that they're feeling because of what is happening in the world. They are reacting to what is happening in the world, and that is what's natural. If the world is not good, then they're not supposed to feel good. They're supposed to feel like something is wrong, so that if they can fix the problem, they will try to fix the problem. They aren't supposed to feel good even when things ain't good. They're supposed to not feel good when things are not good. So the truth is, this world is not good. And it is wrong to keep on bringing people into a world that is not good. I understand that we've been brainwashed, That's something that I understand. But it is obvious that this world is not good. It is obvious that humanity itself is not good. We may keep on lying to ourselves, make ourselves believe that we are good. No, we're not. We are not good. A lot of people think they are good because they are privileged, When things are going well for you and you don't have to steal in order to survive, you think that you're a good person. I remember I was having a conversation with this other lady. She grew up in a good family. Both her parents have good jobs. She's beautiful, she's smart. She's destined for greatness, really. Like, everything worked in her favor. So she was telling me that there's this other friend of hers that became a prostitute. She was like, I can't believe that a person can decide to become a prostitute. And I asked her, does your friend have parents? She was like, no. You see, she doesn't even have parents, but she does this and that. I'm like, don't you realize that the reason why you are the way that you are and you think that you're better than her is because your life was actually better? We are all capable of the most fucked up things that we can think of. I want you to understand that. The most fucked up things that you can think of, you are capable of that. It's just that you didn't experience life in a way that made you want to do these fucked up things, or in a way that forced you to do these fucked up things. So you think you're a good person, you know? It's like if you are beautiful and you just think that makes you a good person. You're beautiful, you know what I mean? So everyone must give you credit. Everyone must give you compliments because of that. Like, you have to understand that we are the way that we are because of the things that have happened in the past. You are a product of your environment. You are a product of your genes, circumstances, traditions. It matters what you get to experience. So if you are in a good place and doing things that make other people love you, you must understand that you are lucky. You mustn't now think that you are just better than people that are not doing good. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. I'm better. I'm better than the people that are not doing good. No. You are luckier than the people that are not doing good. That is the truth. So here's what we must understand. Bringing children into a world that is not good is the greatest sin in the world. And I'll even say that not only is it the greatest sin in the world, it's actually the only sin in the world. Meaning that the only thing that you can do that is wrong is to bring children into this world. That is the only thing that you can do that is wrong. If I created new humans that are flawed, and these humans started killing each other, would we be right to blame these new humans that are flawed for killing each other? Or actually it will make more sense to actually blame the one that created them? This was one of my biggest problems with Christianity. This was one of my biggest problems with Christianity. And I think this is how I started. This is one of the biggest questions that I've asked myself. You know, one of the first questions that I've asked myself. Why does God create people that are not perfect and expect them to be perfect? And even punish them for not being perfect? This is one of the first questions that I've asked myself before I started asking myself other questions about Christianity, before I even realized that something was wrong. The only thing that is wrong is creating monsters and expecting them to be good. Monsters will be monsters. You cannot expect a monster to be good. You see? That's one thing that you must understand. We cannot keep on creating monsters and expect them to be good. Human beings are obviously flawed. That is why no matter how hard we try, there will always be fucked up things that are going to happen in this world that will be caused by humans. Because human beings are flawed. So the solution is to stop creating more humans. Unless we want to see humans doing these fucked up things that they're doing. Unless we don't have a problem with the things that are happening in the world. But if we really have a problem with the things that are happening in the world, then we should stop creating more humans. If we have a problem with rape, we should stop creating more humans. If we have a problem with murder, we should stop creating more humans. If we have a problem with corruption, we should stop creating more humans. Because humans are going to continue to do these things that are wrong. These things that we complain about. You see? We need to open our eyes and see the truth. The truth is that antinatalism is the final truth. It has always been the only solution. There is nothing that we'll be able to do to solve the problems that we have. We should just stop causing these problems in the first place. And we're causing this problem by creating more humans and bringing them into a world that is not good. I mean, think about this. If I had the power to create a world, right? If I had the power to create a world where we'll be able to experience more pleasure than we can experience in this world, and also experience more suffering than we can experience in this world, do you think people will be willing to go to that world? Do you think it would be fair to even throw people into that kind of world? If you think that that wouldn't be right, it wouldn't be right to throw people into that kind of world, then you must realize that it is not right to bring people into this kind of world, because you're bringing them for the same things. I mean, you're not really bringing them for the same things. You're bringing them here because you've been programmed to want to bring them here. But when people ask you why you're bringing them into this world, you'd say, well, because they can experience pleasure, you know. Yes, there's suffering, but there's also pleasure, so they will experience pleasure. Here's what you must realize. If you created a monster and that monster started killing people, it will not realize that what it's doing is wrong. Do you know that? It will actually think that it's doing the right thing, because you programmed it to actually think that killing people is the right thing. That is why lions do not feel like they're doing something wrong when they kill other animals, when they kill people, you know. They're trying to survive. That's the only way for them to survive. The reason why we have psychos in this world is because they don't feel like killing people is wrong. I know what you're thinking. No, they think that is wrong. No, they don't think it's wrong. They know that they'll get in trouble for killing people, but it's not that they think it's wrong. You might think that the reason why they will hide, or the reason why they'll feel guilty maybe in the end, because some of them actually get to feel guilty, is because they feel like what they were doing was wrong. No. It has to do with how society makes them see things. You know, if you live in a society that makes you feel like you are wrong for walking, for an example, and you decided to walk and they decided to punish you for walking, you'd actually start thinking that walking is wrong, because when you walk, you get punished. You think pedos think they're wrong? You think people that are corrupt think that what they're doing is wrong? What we must realize is that people are doing exactly what life has programmed them to do. They're doing exactly what their genes programmed to do, what their environment programmed them to do, you know, what their circumstances programmed them to do. Meaning that the person that you are today you are not that person because of your own power, because of your own will. It has everything to do with what you've been through. If you were born in a different place, you'll be a different person. You understand that? That is why I fully believe that we must abolish prisons. We must stop torturing these fucked up humans. They're just fucked up, you know? The problem is that we're lying to ourselves. We're not tell ourselves that the people that do fucked up shit have the will to do this fucked up shit and it's their fault. We don't look at the things that have happened in the past that actually made them do this fucked up shit. The truth is that we are flawed. The truth is that this world is not good. We're thrown into a world that is not good. We're thrown into a world where we have to do fucked up things in order to survive. You see, if you want to survive in this world, you must be willing to do fucked up shit. If you want to make money in this world, you must be willing to do fucked up shit. If you want to have power in this world, you must be willing to do fucked up shit. You think you will get to have power by being a good person? You think that's how it works? You think that if you were born in poverty, you can actually find a way to actually make money if you're a good person? I mean, it can happen if you have talent, if you're special like that, but really, for most people, it's not like that. They don't have special talents, I mean, what you must realize is that we have way too many people in this world. So yes, even if you do have talent, there are too many people with talent, so you're not special. So what we must realize is that we are wrong to bring people into a world where they'll have to fight in order to survive. And we are wrong for blaming these people for doing what they can to survive. I know this sounds wrong. We are wrong for blaming people for doing what they can to survive, because that's what they gotta do to survive. That is why I told you in the beginning that the only thing that is wrong is bringing children into this world. What they do in this world cannot be wrong, because they are doing exactly what they've been programmed to do. That's why I gave you this example of, if you created a monster and that monster started doing horrible things, or if you created new humans that are flawed and they started killing each other, you'll be the one to blame. They will be doing exactly what they've been programmed to do. You are the one that had the power to actually not create them. So you're the one that started the whole thing. You're the one that created them. And that is doing exactly what they've been programmed to do. You've put them in a world where no matter what they do, it cannot be the right thing. That's another thing that you must realize. We live in a world where you cannot even do the right thing. Like, it is actually impossible to do the right thing. It's either you say, you know what, I don't want to survive. Let me not participate in this world. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer and then die. If you decide that you're going to try to survive, you're going to cause suffering for other people and then die. You see, it's like you're forced to be selfish. There's this other movie that I watched a long time ago. It's called The Tournament, where they had the best assassins in the world. They had the best assassins in the world, and told them that, we're gonna pay you $10 million if you compete in this game where you kill each other. The last man standing is gonna win $10 million. And one of the guys, then they put trackers inside them. Yeah, they put trackers inside them, and one of the guys actually found a way to remove the tracker, put it inside a coffee or something like that. I watched this movie a long time ago. I don't really remember what happened. And then this other dude that was a pastor drank the coffee, and he ended up being a contestant. He had to fight. He had to do things that are not good in order to survive, because he was now part of the game. Do you understand? People have to do things that are not right because they are part of this game. They're part of this world where we have to do horrible things in order to survive, where we have to kill animals in order to survive. And it's obvious that killing animals is wrong, but we have been programmed to not see that it is wrong, you see? Remember what I told you in the beginning, that if you created a monster and that monster started killing people, it wouldn't be killing people because it thinks it's doing something that's wrong. It will actually think that it's doing something that is right. So that's the reason why you think that killing animals, torturing animals, abusing animals is right. It's because you've been programmed to think that that is right. So yes, it is natural for humans to kill animals. 100% is natural. But that doesn't mean that it is right. We've been programmed to want to do things that are not right. That is why you are able to see that something is wrong when you watch animals killing each other. If you watch the video of wild dogs killing a cow, you'd feel like something is not right. You'd feel like something is not right. That's because it isn't. You are conscious, you see? You are more conscious than other animals. And that's something that's very important to understand. As humans, we are more conscious than other animals. And because we are conscious, we are able to see things that they are unable to see about themselves. We are able to see things about ourselves that animals are unable to see about themselves. But we choose to still do the things that we've been programmed to do, even when we can see that it isn't right for us to be doing these things. It doesn't make sense for us to be doing these things. We can see that it is wrong to create new people that can suffer and put them in the world where they can suffer, where they'll have to do things that cause suffering in order to survive. You see, we live in a world where once you are born, you have to do things. You constantly have to try to escape suffering. Once you're born, you constantly have to try to escape suffering. There's no way out. How is it the right thing to create a human that will constantly have to fight in order to escape suffering? How is that the right thing to do? Think about it. If you think that I'm wrong after all the points that I've made, then you must realize that you're not better than animals. It means you're not conscious. There are some things that you are supposed to be able to see. When I talk about antinatalism, I don't expect people to stop having children. I expect people to acknowledge that antinatalism is true. They must be able to see that this guy is right. If you are not able to see that I'm right, it means that you still think like animals. You are not conscious. I understand that as humans, we were hardwired for survival. We're supposed to make copies of ourselves. It's supposed to be almost impossible to resist the urge to reproduce, you know? It's hard, it's that hard. But we must be conscious enough to see that something isn't right. We must be conscious enough to see that the reason why sex is almost irresistible is because if we were supposed to be the ones that are actually making the decisions, we wouldn't really want to be having sex to reproduce. Because think about it. Do people have, like, why do people have sex? Many people have sex because they want to experience pleasure, or because they are horny, and being horny makes you feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's not because they want to have children. 9 out of 10 times when people have sex, they just want to experience pleasure. There's nothing to do with having babies. So you can see that something is wrong. Just the fact that sex is so enjoyable should actually open your eyes. Why is sex so enjoyable? Why? Having children should be something that people should think about, not something that people are just compelled to do. It's something that they should think about. Look at what is going on in the world and ask themselves, hey man, really should we be reproducing? Does it even make sense? Would we be doing it out of love? I mean, love isn't even good. So yes, we can reproduce because of love, but it's still selfish. We should need to be asking ourselves, will we be doing it out of compassion? Will we be bringing people into this world because we think that they'll be missing out? Would we even be thinking about their best interest? You can't just create a new human without thinking. That is wrong on so many levels. But how many people think before they reproduce? How many people? There ain't that many people in the world that actually decide to have children. And here's what's crazy. Even the people that decide that they want to have children are deciding to have children for the wrong reasons. They'll be deciding to have children because they want to have a family. That's a wrong reason to have a child. I want you to understand that. That's a selfish reason to have a child. They'll be deciding that they want to have children because they want their marriage to be strong. That's a wrong reason to have a child. They'll be deciding that they want to have children because they are lonely. That's a wrong reason to have a child. They'll be deciding that they want to have children because life is meaningless. That is a wrong reason to have a child. You cannot create a new person because you feel like something is missing, or because you feel like they're gonna solve your problems. What you'll be doing is actually enslaving them, because they will inherit your problems. You see, they will come into this world and suffer the way that you have and get to a point where they actually feel the way that you feel, you know, and then end up bringing more people here. You see, let me tell you what the good reasons for having children are. The good reasons for having children will actually have to do with the children themselves, not you. Let me give you an example of a good reason to actually have a child. So when you are enjoying your life, you see, life is so great, life is so wonderful, and you're like, wow, I really enjoyed my life. Like, life is so beautiful, man. This world is beautiful. Like, I can't believe how much pleasure I've got to experience. I wish someone else can experience this level of pleasure. What do you think, babes? Let's create another person so that they will experience this amount of, you know what I mean? I don't think you guys are getting what I'm saying to you. People are not having children for the sake of the child. It has everything to do with them. And that is a bad reason to have a child. A good reason to have a child is to actually think about how much fun they can have. If you think that they're going to have fun, then yes, that will be a good reason. If you think that this world is actually good, that is a good reason. If you think that you won't be gambling with somebody's life, then that's a good reason. But when you look at this world, do you think that you won't be gambling with somebody's life if you bring them here? Do you think that it is guaranteed that your child is actually going to enjoy? One thing that bothers me is that people are forced to enjoy this experience. So when a child is not enjoying the experience, they will be made to feel like they are doing something wrong, in order to be happy, you should stop comparing yourself to other people. In order to be happy, you must do the things that you love. You must travel. You must work. No. Maybe people are not happy because this world is not good, or because they're flawed, or because other people are flawed. There are a lot of things that are wrong that are happening in this world. I'm not perfect. Other people are not perfect, and the world itself is not perfect. So I suffer because of that. I will suffer in this world because I'm not perfect. It means that I will make stupid decisions sometimes. I will make decisions that are gonna cause suffering for myself and other people. That's inevitable because I'm not perfect. And other people are gonna make decisions that are gonna cause suffering for me because they are not perfect. And the world itself is not perfect. The systems that we've created are not perfect. So you see, suffering is inevitable. And there are people that suffer more than other people, not because they've done anything wrong, but because they were born into this world. And they've experienced things that put them where they are suffering, It has nothing to do with them being bad people, If you're doing well, it has nothing to do with you being a good person, I do understand that as humans, we have this thing of loving people who are doing well in life, or who are favored by life, People that are beautiful, for an example. You love a person just because they're beautiful. You do them favors because they're beautiful, but they haven't done anything to actually deserve your favors. You just don't care about anything else. You just care about what you're seeing right in front of you. It's like if you meet a person that is successful and you love them because they're successful. You don't care what they had to do to become successful. You're like, you know what? This person has money. Especially, women are like that. Like, oh, this person has money. They don't care what that person has done. They don't care if that person is good. They don't care if that person is horrible. They just want a person with money, a person with power. So we live in a world that's like that. We live in a world where if you are lucky, then people are going to love you. If you're not lucky, people are going to hate you. And they will really hate you. You know, I know people that are really hated, not because they are bad people, because they're not, they weren't like it. There are people who have done the things that people who are lucky have done, but because they're not lucky, they're hated for these things. If you are not a handsome guy, or if you're not an attractive guy, and you approach a woman and you give her a compliment, you might think that you are a weirdo. She might think that you're a creep. But if you're handsome, it won't even matter. Just because we care about what we're saying. What you must realize is that just because people are doing good in life does not mean that they're good people or they've done the right things and they deserve to be doing good. They were just lucky. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. So the people that are suffering like crazy are suffering like crazy because they weren't lucky. It's not because they've done horrible things. So do you understand how unfair it is for them to actually have to be suffering because they were brought into this world? And they're not suffering because it's their fault. They're suffering because they were not lucky. They were suffering because someone gambled with their lives. How can you say that I'm wrong if you're thinking that I'm wrong? I actually don't think that there's a person that does not agree with me that is still watching this video. That's because you can't handle the truth. Because what I'm saying is true. As a person, you can't handle the truth. If you are still watching this video, even if you do not agree with me, I do believe that you're going to start agreeing with me. There's no way that you watch this video and still not agree with me, because I'm making a lot of sense. What I'm saying is the truth, you know? We must start seeing things as they really, really are. And stop lying to ourselves. We've been lied to a lot. You know, we've been programmed to actually lie to ourselves about the things that are happening in the world. We've been programmed to view this world a certain way, even if it's not the way that we've been programmed to view it. Like, yeah, it's the world is good, even when we're seeing horrible things happening. God is good, even when horrible things are happening. No, it is not. These horrible things that are happening actually prove to us that this world is not good. And that's what we must understand. We mustn't continue to lie to ourselves, even when the truth is right in front of us, you know? Because that's the mistake that a lot of people are making. They lie to themselves. The truth is right in front of them, but they lie to themselves. They choose lies over truth because they're trying to be positive. And they hate people for being negative. What you must understand is that some people that you think are negative are just telling you the truth, and the truth is just not good. So that's why you think that these people are negative. They're not negative, they're just telling you the truth. They're just trying to make you see reality as it is, which is something that is really important. We have to see reality as it is. We mustn't be lying to ourselves, because lies have not helped us. Lies will not help us. Though lies will make us feel comfortable, yes, but the consequences of avoiding the truth will still be there. You'll still have to face the consequences of avoiding the truth. I saw a video of this other pastor that got eaten by lions because he believed that what happened to Adam, Meshach, and Abednego. Look, I haven't read the Bible in a long time. I'm not sure if yeah, these are the guys that were thrown into a pit of lions. But yeah, he was trying to recreate that story, I guess. He thought he can pray and God is gonna protect him from lions. But yeah, lions just saw meat, man, and they were like, yo, we're hungry. And here's food right here. We won't even have to struggle to kill this thing. It's weak. And I think animals like how we taste. It'll get to a point, like if animals were free to live with us and they were able to kill us, it will literally get to a point where they just only eat humans because they love how we taste, you know. They love how we taste, you know. So yeah, they would actually get to a point where they're just eating humans only. But yo, what we must realize is that just because we try to avoid the truth does not mean that we're not going to face the consequences of avoiding the truth. If you touch fire, you're going to get burned. If you jump off a roof, you're going to fall down. There's another story of a pastor that tried to do what Jesus did, you know, fast for 40 days. He died. Oh, and he wasn't doing that alone. He's told his followers to do the same. Oh, actually, he didn't die. I think his followers died. Nah, I think no, I actually think he died. Some of his followers died, or everyone died. Actually, I think that's what happened. But if you lie, that's what I'm trying to show you is that just because you lying to yourself does not mean that you're not going to face the consequences of lying to yourself. You know, things that are true are going to remain true. If you bring children into a world that is not good, they are going to suffer, because in this world people suffer. You understand that? You can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself, but people are going to suffer because they're in a world where there is suffering. I've been saying this. I've been saying that suffering is not a bug, suffering is a future. These crazy things that are happening in this world, these are not flaws, all right? It's exactly how the world works. These things are not happening because there's a virus that has made everything fucked up. No, this world has been designed to be the way that it is. So the horrible things that you complain about will continue to happen because you live in a world where these horrible things happen. You see? So yeah, if you bring a person into this world, that person is going to suffer. You just hope that they will be lucky enough to enjoy life more than they actually suffer, you know. It will be good to enjoy more than you suffer, but for some people, their lives are not like that. They're actually suffering a lot, you know. They don't get to really enjoy. But yeah, it is possible that you bring a child into this world and that child ends up actually enjoying the experience more than they actually suffer. But that wouldn't mean that you have not gambled with their lives. It would mean that I guess you've won. But it is not right to gamble with somebody else's life. That's what I'm trying to show you. Bringing children into this world would actually make sense if we were not gambling with other people's lives. If we were actually able to get consent from people before they come into this world. There's a reason why we want to get consent from people before we give them work, for an example. There are a lot of people that are unemployed in this world, but we don't force them to work because they're unemployed. We'll actually negotiate with them, figure out what they want. If they really want to work for us, will they be able to do certain things? They'll have to agree. We don't just decide that working is a good thing, so we can just find random people and just make them work. That would be wrong. We understand how important consent is. People shouldn't be forced to do things just because we feel like they should do these things. No, it is wrong. You can continue to lie to yourself because you're delusional, but that is wrong. It is wrong to bring people here to experience something that they didn't consent to. It is wrong. And it's something that is obvious. You can lie to yourself however you want to lie to yourself, but it is wrong. And you're going to see a lot of horrible things happen because you are continuing to do something that is wrong. You see, the only sin is actually bringing people into this world. The original sin was creating new humans, That's it. That was the original sin. So if you decide that you're going to bring more people here, you're sinning. You're doing something that is not right, something that is unjustifiable, something that you shouldn't be doing, something that is causing suffering, you see. You must just realize that antinatalism is the final truth. As a society, we must realize that, nah, man, life hasn't been working. This is not working. This is not a good experience that we're having. And that is the truth. We're not having a good experience. We are not having a positive experience. If you are happy, it means that you were lucky. Those that are not happy because they weren't lucky. You see? So is it okay to gamble with other people's lives? Gamble with your own life. That would be good. No one would have a right to blame you. Of course, people would blame you if you gamble with your life, but no one would actually have the right to actually blame you. But don't gamble with other people's lives. You can decide that you want to go and fight for your country. It's okay. You decided that you wanted to go and fight for your country. If you get killed, at least that's what you wanted. You wanted to fight. You knew the risks. But to force your child to go and fight, that is fucked up. Consent is very important. No one should be forced to do something that they do not want to do because you think it's the right thing to do. And another problem about life, about existence in this world is that just because you think that reproducing will be the right thing to do doesn't actually mean it will be the right thing to do. It will actually mean that you've been programmed to feel like it is the right thing to do. And those that are more conscious than you would actually be able to see that it's not the right thing to do. And that is why we have internationalists. That's why we had Gnostics in the past. There are people that are more conscious than you that are actually able to see that it is not the right thing to do. And you must understand that there are people that are more conscious than you are. 100%. Just like there are people that are much taller than you. People that are smarter than you. People that are very good at memorizing stuff more than you. So yes, there are people that are more conscious than you are. Have you realized that people that are actually conscious believe the same things? We realize that people that are conscious actually believe the same things, even if they might not agree on what needs to be done in the end. They actually believe the same things. They're actually seeing the same things, you know. So a person that is conscious and doing very well, or that has a lot of power and that's followed by many people, might not necessarily think that antinatalism is the best way to go. They might think that when people do not have money, they shouldn't reproduce. They might actually think that, yeah, the world really sucks and we need to think before we reproduce. Or the world really sucks and we may need to change some few things. And what will be binding them will be their own privilege, you know. When you're privileged, it's hard for you to see the truth. It is something that you must understand. People who really get to see the truth are people that are not privileged, but that are conscious. These are the people that get to see the truth. So it will be better to start, to actually see the truth first, because you're not privileged, and then become privileged in the end. That would be dope. It will be good for you to experience what it's like to be poor before you become rich, so that you actually understand what people who are poor are going through, and you'd actually feel like helping them. But if you've been privileged your whole life, you'd actually think, you know, poor people are just lazy, you know. You have to experience what people are going through in order to really understand them, because you don't see everything. So yes, if you're enjoying your life, you'd probably want to come back. If you have money and things are going well for you, you've never really had to stress a lot, you know. Maybe the most horrible things that you've went through is, you know, losing the people that you love, you know, people that you love dying, maybe losing some money sometimes, maybe losing your house sometimes, maybe having your heart broken sometimes. But there are people that are dealing with that and a lot more. People who do not know what they're gonna eat tomorrow, for real. They have to stress about that. They also have to stress about the fact that their wives have left them. They also have to stress about the fact that the people that they love, they've died of hunger, you know. They didn't die because they were on a plane going to another country. No, they died of hunger. They died because there was something, you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing very well, you and those people that have went through what I'm mentioning now, you'll not understand each other, because you're not experiencing life the same way, you see. Antinatalism is the final truth, because there are people in this world that wish they were never born. And that's what makes antinatalism the final truth. Because if there are people who wish they were never born, that is true. They wish they were never born. That is the truth. It doesn't matter how you view this world. You might think that it's good. The truth is, there are some other people that actually think it isn't good. You see? So that would mean that someone gambled with their lives and they didn't win. And we know that it is wrong to gamble with somebody's life, because there's a possibility of them not winning. You see, that's why we don't want to force people to do things that they do not want to do, even if we think that these things are good. I saw this the meme the other day, where someone said, um, they were giving an advice to someone, but they would say, "Oh, may," but or they will say, "But," or something like that. Like they gave someone an advice, but they will say, "But," just in case something goes wrong. Yeah, they say something like that. Like you give someone an advice, like, "Yo, man, yeah, you should marry this chick, but I don't know." Yeah, something like that. I think, yeah, what was written on the meme is that me saying that I don't know just after giving someone an advice, just in case something goes wrong. Yeah. You never know how things are going to happen. So, yes, even if you think that forcing someone to do something is actually, like something is actually the right thing to do, so you must force someone to do it. Even if you force them to do it, it doesn't mean that they're going to get positive results. It might happen that you tell someone to do the right thing, or even force someone to do the right thing, and bad things happen. You might force your child to become a doctor, and bad things happen because you forced them to become a doctor. Force your child to become an artist, and bad things happen because of that. So you don't force anyone to do anything. You allow people to make their own choices, so that even when things go wrong, or if things go wrong, they don't blame you. They don't blame anyone. They just understand that it's life. I mean, they'll maybe blame their parents for bringing them into a world like this, but really, we shouldn't make things worse than they are by forcing people to do things that they do not want to do because we think that these things are right. When you create a new person, you are creating a being that's going to have an experience in this world. So you're creating a being that's going to have an experience. Whether they like to have this experience or not, they're going to have this experience. And that is wrong. That cannot be right in any world. So that's why I'm saying to you that actually antinatalism is the final truth. Because on top of that being wrong, the world itself isn't good. There are a lot of bad things that are happening because the world is not good. So you're not just forcing someone to experience something. You're actually forcing them to experience something that is not good. You see what the problem is? You are creating new people, throwing them into a world that is not good, throwing them into a world where they can get killed at any time. You understand that? People that are here can get killed at any time. You can fight your whole life to survive, to do the right things, and you get killed. I was watching this other video of this other lady that got killed. She was very important. She was in a university. She was very important in that university. A lot of people loved her and they thought she was going to be great. And nobody killed her. Just a regular dude killed her. He raped her and killed her. This is where these kind of things happen, It's a horrible world. Horrible world, these things happen. That's why we are constantly trying to protect ourselves. We're afraid of bad things happening to us. We're afraid of unfair things happening to us. Once you get killed, you cannot reverse that experience. You cannot get killed and press rewind so that you do things differently and protect yourself. No, once you get killed, you got killed. So all the years that you've had to work will be for nothing. All the pain that you've ever had to go through will be for nothing. Can you imagine working very hard in your life while suffering? Work very hard so that You'd have the things that you want and then you get killed before you have the things that you want. That's horrible. But that can happen in a world like this. This world is unpredictable. It's evil. If you want to know that this world is evil, just look at how animals live. They're showing us how evil the world is. Because animals are not conscious. Animals don't have laws, They don't have laws created for them to follow. If we didn't have laws created for us to follow, we'll be doing horrible things too. I mean, we are doing horrible things, but I mean, the world will be 10 times worse than it is today, Probably will not be alive right now because I would have been killed a long time ago. There's a reason why 100 years ago there were a lot of things that were being done that we don't understand how people of that time felt weren't bad. We don't understand how people of that time felt like those things were right. It's because we are evil. It's the laws that are making us less evil, because we're afraid of getting punished, we're afraid of going to jail. But what you must realize is that these laws were created by people that are in power. And these people that have created these laws are also doing horrible things. That's something that you must realize. In South Africa, our politicians are fucked up. They are criminals, real criminals. They're doing a lot of horrible things. So laws are for us, poor citizens that have nothing. They be stealing every day. We're the ones that should be doing the right things because they have power, They can do whatever they want. I mean, the guy that's the president of our country right now, he was caught with, I think he was caught with like 400 million rand. Dude is not in jail. If they caught me with 1 million, I would have to do time in prison. Jacob Zuma, who was the president of our country, has been charged with so many things. Like, he has done a lot of horrible things. But the guy is free. So what you must understand is that these laws were created for poor people. They weren't really created by, poor people. Like, we're trying to protect ourselves. They were created for them. They're created for people who don't have power. People who ain't shit in this world. People who are the real slaves. And that's because the people that are in power want it to seem as if they have everything under control. They want it to seem like this world is actually working, even though it's not working. Because if really they didn't control us, it will be obvious to each and every person that this world is not working. But they have to protect people from the truth, which is that this world is not working, which is that this world is actually horrible. You see? And that is something that is obvious. That is something that each and every person should be able to see. But they are blinded because they've been programmed to actually believe those that are more powerful than them. That's a serious problem. So it will be better for people to actually realize that, nah, man, the stuff that's going on in the world that we do not like is happening because of us, because we are continuing to create more humans, and these humans end up suffering a lot, and they're not really suffering for anything. It's not like this has to continue. It's not like there's a good reason for life to continue in this world. There's absolutely no reason. It's not like we're doing this for something. It's not like there's a goal. It's not like life has meaning. It's not like we're fighting so that we'll free some people that are suffering. For an example, I mean, if there were people that are suffering and we had to continue to reproduce because we're trying to free them, that would make sense. But we're not trying to free anyone. We're just addicted to this. You see, that's the only reason. The only reason why we're doing this is because we're addicted to this. We're addicted to pleasure. We're addicted to the drama. We're addicted to the nonsense that's going on in this world. So we think that it's a good idea to keep on reproducing because of that. And we tell ourselves stories that are not true in order to justify having children. Even though having children is the only thing that is actually wrong. People are doing the things that we don't want them to do because they're trying to survive. They're trying to survive because they were brought here, not because they chose to be here. There's a reason why when people get killed by animals, we do kill these animals if we can, but usually if the animal escapes, we're not going to look for it the same way that we look for humans. If you kill another human, they'll look for you. But if a snake kills you, they ain't going to really look for that snake. If the snake escaped, it escaped. They're not going to be like, even if it kills a person on camera, if it escapes, they're not going to be like, oh, let's look for that snake. The snake has done something wrong. No, they understand that the snake did exactly what it was programmed to do. A snake will always be a snake. So humans are doing exactly what they're programmed to do. It's just that we're slaves. We're in the matrix. So if you do horrible things, even if you're doing these horrible things to survive, you gotta get punished. That's a way for them to control you. It has nothing to do with morality, because morality does not exist. That's why morality does not apply to the people that are at the top. They're stealing every day. They have a lot of power, and they've normalized that. Like, it's normal for some people to have billions while some people have nothing. No, it's not. That's wrong. There's a crime against humanity. No one should be that rich. We're supposed to share what we have here. So if people do whatever they can to have money, you can't really blame them, because they're trying to survive, because you have created the need for them to actually survive. You know what I mean? Like, once you create a human, that human is going to need to survive, you see? And in a world like this, in order to survive, you gotta have some money. You don't survive if you're broke. And you know that. People who are broke don't survive, don't get to have the things that they want, because they do not have money. They don't have access to the things that they want because they do not have money. Some of them end up homeless, and we pass them every day because they don't have money. They're not surviving, they're suffering. So money is important. So if you create people, they're going to need money in order to survive. And they'll do whatever they can, because remember, we're programmed to want to survive. That's the thing. It's not like you choose that you want to survive or not. No, you've been programmed to want to survive. So you try to survive, because that's what you've been programmed to do. You've been programmed to survive, So So you do what you can to survive. And because of that, people continue to suffer because they gotta survive. And in order to survive, you gotta be selfish. For a lion to survive, it has to be selfish. It has to look at its prey and be like, yo, I don't care if it wants to survive, I want to survive. So if I have to kill it in order to survive, then I'm going to kill it. I shouldn't be blamed for that because I'm trying to survive and I can kill it. It can't kill me, but I can kill it. And if I kill it, I'm going to continue to survive. I'm going to be killing it for energy. So you see, we just live in a horrible world. We might lie to us. We might lie to ourselves as much as we'd like to lie to ourselves, but the world is horrible and it's going to continue to be horrible. And we'll not be able to change that, you know. If the world is horrible, the world is horrible. There's nothing that we'll be able to do to change that. So if we want to stop this nonsense that's going on in the world, we should just make sure that there are no participants. There are no people that have to actually participate in what's happening in this world. That's the only solution. That has always been the only solution. I do not have children, so that means that they are not suffering. You see, that means that they are not causing suffering. No one is suffering because I have decided not to reproduce. I mean, yeah, other people are suffering, but I mean, because I decided that I'm not going to reproduce, then these people that I will have brought into this world are not suffering. And there are no people that are suffering because of these people that I've decided not to bring into this world. You get what I'm saying? So that's what must be understood. So we have to be brave, you know, because people are not brave, you know. They want to say things that the people that are in power want them to say. You know, the people that are running things in this world don't really care. They're doing well. They're doing so well to care. They want you to say what they want you to say because it helps them. That is the reason why people that are ignorant get to be in power. They get to have the things that they want. They get to be rewarded. People that are truly brave don't really get to be rewarded. People that are threatening the system, these people get killed. People that are really intelligent, that stand for the truth, these people get killed. But ones that are ignorant, you know, people like Jordan Peterson, they're loved, you know, they're given power as if they're that intelligent, you know. He's intelligent, but I mean, there are people that are more intelligent than him. But dude doesn't get cancelled, and he has a lot of power, you know. He's respected. That's because he's pushing the narrative that the people that are in power want him to push. They don't want anything that's against what they are trying to push. Even if it is true, even if it's going to liberate everyone, even if it's going to save everyone. They're not interested in that. They're interested in maintaining that power. They're interested in controlling other people. That's what they're interested in. And that's what we must realize, because we like to lie to ourselves. We like to believe that people that are in power really care about us. They really care about people that are below them. You don't care about animals, do you? You don't care about animals because you are above them. They don't care about you, they're above you, Why should they care about you? Why should they care what you're going through? Do you think that if they cared about you, you'd have problems in this world? You think if they cared about us, we'd have homeless people, we'd have people that are poor, people that don't have money to pay their medical bills? Do you think things will be the way that they are? No, they wouldn't be the way that they are. But they don't care. They care about themselves. And this is the world that people are bringing their children into. When you really think about it, you realize that it's a sign of stupidity. It has nothing to do with intelligence. The more intelligent you are, the more you realize that it really makes zero sense for you to be having children, especially if you know that you don't have power, especially if you know that you don't run shit here. It's weird to me that there are people who have nothing and they're still reproducing. People who have suffered. You just see that these people are just slaves. They're perfect slaves, slaves of nature. They're not conscious. They're like NPCs. Because if they were conscious, they would be asking themselves why they would be reproducing in the first place. Even if reproducing was actually the right thing to do, they would actually be like, you know what, let's fight, let's work hard so that we'd find ourselves where we need to find ourselves, in order to reproduce. We shouldn't be reproducing even if we know that we have nothing, because we will be sharing with them the experience of suffering, which is wrong. Even if we think we're doing that out of love. Because yes, parents will say that they love their children, whatever. Yeah, love is selfish. Love has everything to do with you. You don't love other people for them, you love them for you. That's what you must realize. So you loving them has to do with you. It has to do with what you want from them. The reason why it's hard for some people to adopt, they would rather have children of their own, is because they know how that will benefit them. So you see, it's not because they love other beings, it's because they actually love themselves. So that's what many people must realize. Like, what you call love is just you needing something. It has everything to do with you. It's selfish. So you can't say you love your children and that's a good thing. No, it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. That is why I told you that people that are having children are not having children for them, for their sake. They are having children because they want to have children. It has nothing to do with them being like, I want to give someone an experience that they will not have if I did not bring them here. So let me be a kind person and give someone this experience. There's nothing to do with that. So antinatalism is the final truth, guys. We can lie to ourselves all we want, but Having children is wrong. And that is the truth. And until we realize that this is the truth, there's going to be suffering. In fact, the best way for us to reduce suffering, if we're still going to be having children, would actually be by realizing that having children is actually wrong. So that we realize that we're not doing our children a favor by having them. You know, that would actually make them treat them better. That would make us treat one another better. Because we would realize that, hey man, this person did not even ask to be here. They don't have to be here. They're here because they were brought here by someone. So why should I be horrible to them? Why should I treat them as if they asked for this? You see? Thank you all, guys.